Hi there. You know, my free-roaming ball pythons love to use this empty cage. You may have seen that in some shorts that I post occasionally. They like to free roam in here. I leave the doors open, and they roam until they can get themselves wedged like Damara is right here, and then they sit there all day until I remove them. But they can't use this cage anymore because the snake that I've been reserving this cage for is coming very soon, and he'll eventually be using that cage. So I've got to recreate the conditions of this cage outside the cage that hopefully these snakes will enjoy in a similar fashion. So we're going to do that today in this video, and I'll also do the unboxing of that snake that's going to be here so you can see who that snake is. And I think there might be 2 snakes in this box that's coming. So we got a couple things to do in this video. Let's get to it.
Hi, Future Bob here. You know, as far as I can tell, Past Bob hasn't even made any mistakes yet, and I'm already making an appearance. But the reason is that this video has several storylines, but it also jumps back and forth between different timelines, and I'm going to be here to guide you through those time portals when they come up. Would it be easier to refer to me as a Time Lord? Maybe. I'm okay with that. You can refer to me as a Time Lord if you'd like. Okay, back to the furthest point in the past that we'll be going in this video.
So this is going to be just one of those on-the-fly videos that I do because I just found out that this snake is arriving very soon. Now, the snake isn't going to immediately go into this cage, but I still want to get it ready, and I want the girls who are used to going in here all the time to get used to a different spot. So most of the time they do what Damara is doing here. They curl up in this space which I measured is 1.5 inches. So Damara, big thick Damara, is squishing her body down to 1.5 inches. Now sometimes they go in the hides, sometimes they go behind the hides, but I think the special thing about this cage for them is that they have this space that they can squish themselves. They don't even think of it as a cage because I always leave the door open. They can always come out if they want, but they usually stay put. So I want to recreate this situation right outside this cage. So here's what I figured out. I've got this right outside the cage. I have all these hides, and I have this shelving. So if I can get with hides, if I can get to where we have 1.5 inches to 2 inches right here, so we're going to put these little hides like that. These are medium black box hides. And then we'll take this one with the hole on top, which is just like the one Damara is sitting on right now. We'll put it right here. This gives us, I already measured it, this gives us 1.5 inches space. Some of the snakes like to, nope, not like that. Some of these females like to sort of get in and around right there next to that plug, like that. So now, if they just want to be in a hide normal, they can be in this one, or they can go in here and be between this and the wall. So we'll come back to this and I'll show you whether it's working or not. But right now, let's cut to the future and take a look at a pretty cool unboxing that I'm going to be doing. Hey everybody, we're in the future, and the delivery guy just showed up at my house, so we're going to do an unboxing.
Okay, I guess Past Bob did my job for me. We'll call that practice for in the future when I become a Time Lord.
This knife seems like it's real formidable, but it's actually the least sharp knife I own. Not a good knife. From Reach Out Reptiles, can you tell? Anybody guess what it is? Somebody put in the comments what you think it is. All right, let's see what Garrett sent me. Put in the comments what you think it is. We'll look at this. A whole bunch of stuff. Reach Out Reptiles stuff. Okay. Need my glasses for this. Ooh, look at this. Little house snake for one thing. Hi, little one. Did you shed in here? Oh my gosh. I think that might be a shed. Okay, so this is a little blue-eyed leucistic female Poshet hypo. So this was a gift from Garrett and Warren at Bushveld. You know, Reach Out Reptiles, Garrett breeds these snakes, and he sells them through his partnership with
Bushveld reptiles. So this is a gift from those guys. This little lady. Let's check her out. So this little lady here is intended to be Harry's girlfriend. And man, she's real pretty. She's a purple snake, and she'll just go in with Harry. They can be cohabs, so she'll go in with Harry, and they'll just have babies whenever they have babies. Pretty cool. So I'm going to put her back in her little container here. This next one I'm very excited about. This boy is on breeding loan with Garrett, and this guy is intended to breed with Echo. So I'm going to have him, you know, for a season, maybe 2 seasons, however long it takes to get him going. Oh, man. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, buddy. Hi, pal. Hi. You want to come out, see the world a little bit? Look at this guy. He's beautiful. He already has a name, and his name has to do with his history. This snake was on breeding loan to Mr. Dave Kaufman a couple years ago. And Dave had him for, I don't know, a couple of years. And he couldn't get him to breed with his females. So so Garrett took him back and paired him with his females. He bred right away. So when Garrett took him back, he named him Dave. So this snake's name is Dave, and he's already got a nameplate. Man, what a cool snake he is. Oh my goodness. He's considerably bigger than Echo at this point. I'm going to get these two set up, but that is why we have that bioactive cage going. It's for Dave, and hopefully we can get those plants somewhat established before Dave gets in there. So we'll see. Because he might be a plant killer, pal. You know that? You might be a plant killer. You know, it should be noted that Bioactive Supply sent me a ton of stuff to build out Dave's cage, and I took beautiful footage of that bioactive build, and that footage is nowhere to be found. Thanks, Past Bob. So now let's go way back to before Past Bob put that bioactive together and lost that footage. You know, I want Damara to test out what I just built here. And so I think I'm going to try and get her out of here. And then I'm just going to show her the spot and see what she does. You know, snakes never do what you want them to do, but we'll see what happens. My first challenge, though, is getting her out of here. Dude. Oh my gosh, Mama. So she's going in here, but is she going to stay? That's the big question. There's Damara. She's checking out the new space. She's never had this situation before, so it's probably very interesting to her. But maybe she'll use it as a preferred spot. Now, she does have other preferred spots around the room. If this was just taken away from her, it wouldn't be the end of the world. She has other spots that she likes to sit, but all the free-roaming ball pythons seem to love to squish themselves. Check this out. Several hours later, this is where she landed. This is where she's been for quite some time. So I'd say this is the spot. That works nicely for her. The only difference is that it used to be if she didn't come out by evening, I would just close the cage door and lock it and she could sleep there overnight. Here, I don't want her sleeping overnight because I don't want her to come out and roam the house at night. So I'll have to put her back. But this is a great compromise, I think. You know, it's not always the best idea to have too many storylines or too many timelines in a YouTube video, but I'm adding one more storyline and another timeline. We're going back to fairly recently in time to the Tinley Park Reptile Show, where I talked to Garrett about the snakes that he sent me, and we discussed breeding a little bit. And I thought that some people might be interested in that conversation, so I recorded it. So we're going to roll that. And during the first part of it, I'm going to scroll the horde of keepers. These are the people who support the channel over on patreon.com/greenroompythons. I really appreciate them. And I also really appreciate the companies who sponsor this channel. Black Box Cages, Lane Labs, and the Royals Project. Without those companies and without those Patreon supporters, this would not be a channel. So very much appreciate them. All right, let's go see what Garrett has to say.
What a rookie.
I
You
know.
didn't record?
You
didn't even record.
I didn't record. So annoying. Garrett Hartle of Reach
Bob
Out.
Bledsoe.
Garrett Hartle of Reach Out Reptiles.
It's like a collision of the multiverse.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that we're doing this, because we were going to do it on Zoom, and then we realized we're going to see each other at Tinley, so we're doing it here.
This is better. If you don't know better, then Bob smells really well, and you just don't get that on YouTube or Zoom or anything else.
I have a nice smelling beard
It's
oil.
the beard balm.
Yeah. So I have 2 snakes that you sent me, and they're both doing very well. But let's real quick talk about Dave. Can you tell me what his morphs are?
Okay, Dave is a Motley Super Platinum, which we call Ultra Ivory.
Yeah.
And then he's also possibly het for white phase albino and aneurystic.
Okay. So the Ultra Ivory is why he's all white.
That's why he's all white.
And then what's his locality? He's Kalatoa?
He's high percentage Kalatoa, 68.75%.
Okay, cool. And we're going to pair him with Echo. Echo is like half his size, but that's okay.
You're the only one that got a female out of her clutch.
Right, that's right.
She's a Karompa cross, which is like super duper rare.
Yeah.
Very small, obviously. 50% Karompa, 25% Kalatoa, 12.5% Slayer.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna pair them up, and I want to know from you, like, so first of all, I've been giving her some extra meals. She's been getting a little bit of extra food lately.
Okay.
What should I be doing? When should I pair them? What do you think?
So the ultimate guide is, people talk about temperature cycling, food cycling, all that. You do want some food if they're going to make eggs, because they put so much into it.
Right.
But the real thing to do is every time she sheds, put the male in for introductions.
Really?
Every single time. Now you got to watch him, and her body language will tell you if she's receptive or not. But females go once a year. You don't know when that's going to be the first go round.
Right.
But their peak fertility will always occur for a 2-week cycle after a shed. If you do that, literally anyone could breed retics. Keep her healthy. Don't need any special cycling, And then every time she sheds, put that male in there. I just put him in for like overnight. If she really doesn't want him, it'll look like she pees and wags her tail, opposite of ball pythons. That means she doesn't want it.
Right. So I remember learning this a long time ago, and I had forgotten. Their behavior that looks like a receptive ball python is actually an unreceptive reticulated python.
Yeah, because ball pythons are weird, right? Like if someone was advancing upon you, you didn't want it, wouldn't you squeal and pee and run away?
Yes,
That's what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's definitely what you do. I've heard that.
Yeah.
So what does it look like when a female is receptive to the male when you put him in?
She just kind of hunkers down and let him do it. And then if he does nothing, it's probably her, not him.
Okay.
But if she's receptive, he'll start looking like a sea monster. He does these like goofy arches, pushing on water bowls, and then you'll see those little spurs on the sides of his vent. He'll try to start tickling her all over.
Cool.
If she's peeing and everything and running away, she's probably not ready.
Okay.
I still leave them in for a little bit just so they can get used to each other.
Sure.
For like an hour and pull them out.
Okay.
If she doesn't do all that, leave her in overnight with him and then pull him out the next day. And then I'll give him like little meals and put him back in maybe every third day for the next 2 weeks. If you do that every time after she sheds, you'll get eggs.
Okay. And have you ever done it reverse where you put the female in with the male?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You could put them in the back seat of a Camaro if you want.
Right.
They're first timers. They're going to make it happen. Now, the one thing that maybe is common sense, but I think is worth mentioning, especially because people are watching, retics have that food response. Like you put something in their cage, they eat it. your hand, a snake hook,
Yeah.
a different snake.
Yeah.
So just make sure that whoever you're putting in the other one, the snake that's in the cage, you don't have that food response. You pet them with a hook.
Sure.
You could also take them both out and then put them back in. So they're
Right.
like, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Then they smell and figure it out.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely do that for sure. Okay, so that, and then now let's switch gears and talk about this little house snake.
All right.
That you sent me. This is a little blue-eyed leucistic.
Yeah, so they call them blue eyes. They originally named them blue-eyed leucistic. The wild caught one they caught was like so light gray that it was white, but I don't think it's a leucistic at all.
Okay.
I think they still call the morph blue eye, but if we're going to compare it to something in other species, it would be like a lavender hognose.
Okay.
That's what you've seen it. Doesn't
Yeah,
it look like a lavender hognose?
Yeah. They're purple.
lavender false water cobra, purple snake.
She's definitely a purple snake.
She is from a project that had both T-positive albino and hypo in it.
Okay.
So she could have 3 different mutations.
Okay.
The rarest one is what she is with the blue eye.
Right.
Your male is, I do the same thing with the house snakes that I do with the retics, where I use different localities to make them cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a locality of house snake called KwaZulu-Natal, KZN if you're hip to South African lingo.
That's what Harry
you
is.
are. Yep. So he's a high percentage. I think he's also 68.75%. KZN
Red. Yeah.
which is the locality, T-positive albino.
Right.
So if you put them together, what you're going to do is add some reddish influence to her already purple morph.
Yeah.
And you'll either get double hets, which will be awesome, or if you're lucky, you'll actually make ones that look like him, but are het for what she is. And if you're really lucky, you could pop out a sun glow, because my high percentage KZN red stuff has produced hypos in the past, sort of on accident, must be there from a breeder that had them long before me.
Cool.
So if you're really lucky, you'll do that. The other thing about Harry is that he was bred to have big buggy eyeballs.
Yeah.
Have you compared him to her? They take off as he grows.
His eyes are bigger than hers, for sure. Yeah.
Which makes him super cute.
Yeah.
So if you could get super cute double het T-pause blue eyes, I mean, a visual
big.
T-pause blue eye actually makes like a really pinkish snake.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
shifting from purple to pink,
Yeah.
but adding all of that red influence in there,
Yeah.
you should get the craziest like purple glow snakes with giant cute eyeballs. It's gonna look like a plushie when you're done.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm excited. And the cool thing about those house snakes is they'll throw 2 to maybe 3 clutches a year.
I've had them throw 7.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's insane, Garrett.
What even crazier, what I do is I put them together in the spring. Here's how you breed house snakes. You put the male in with the female, you close the bin, and just to maintain your innocence, you just say la 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 la, and then you take him out, and then she lays fertile clutches for like 2 years.
Oh my gosh. But you also house male and females together, right?
You can keep them
like
communally.
I can house them together.
I would recommend you feed them separately.
Sure,
Be careful. That's
sure.
a little bit more of an advanced technique. I think you could do it. I just don't want everyone to be like, well, throw them all together and don't pay attention,
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, you can house them together. And basically, when a female lays eggs, it's like harder to stop her than to get her to breed again. So they're always really skinny after they lay eggs. You feel bad. You give them some extra meals, and they're like, calories, and they push another clutch out.
Oh my gosh.
So the more you try to fatten them, the more they spit out eggs.
I feel like, listen, Patreon supporters, Horde of Keepers, be ready to get some house snakes.
Armies of house snakes.
I'm gonna have a lot. I only have
purple, plushy, big-eyed house snakes.
I only have 1 pair of house snakes, but I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of babies. So
yeah, you could get up to 100 hatchlings a year.
That's insane. Garrett, thanks, pal. I'm really excited about these snakes. Okay, we're done. Let's go back to the green room for whatever. I don't know what I'm doing in there, but let's go back.
Okay, back to the past. Not all the way back, but maybe a couple days in the future from the past. This is getting really confusing, and I'm sorry about that. Here's a quick update after these snakes have gotten used to this station. We have Damara down here. She likes to just sit down there. Here's Kata right here. I don't understand this, but that's Kata's face. There's Kata's tail. So somehow we've gotten to here. And anyway, also, can I just say that my 2 biggest ball pythons can fit into a medium black box hide. They should not be able to fit in there. Those two girls are big ladies. Crazy. And also, there's Anya. She's doing a bit of climbing, so I'm sitting here spotting her. But this is nuts that they can still fit in these hides. Okay, now I'm back to give you the most recent update. So Dave is down there. He's doing really well. He hasn't killed his plants yet. And, you know, he's pretty shy. He stays hidden either in a hide or usually actually behind his hide. He likes to stay. So he's not trying to kill his plants, which is great. Echo is right above him, and I haven't put them together yet, but Echo's in shed right now. You'll see her glass is all steamy there because I just sprayed her off and gave her some humidity. But she's in shed right now. When she sheds, I'll put them together, but I'm going to put this video out before that happens. So I'm excited to do that. My little house snake is named Asta, and she is going in with Harry into a larger cage. I'm moving Harry out of his small cage into a larger one that can house both of them together. So we'll be doing that relatively soon. And the ball pythons are doing great in that corner that I made for them. They all tend to gravitate towards that. They either find their own little hides or they squish themselves in that spot. It worked out really great. So that's it. Happy ending to this video. All the storylines, all the timelines. Hope you stuck with it. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.